Great. Well, welcome back, everyone. So we're going to look at Scribble Online and conversion services, and I think this is the last session of the day. So to start us off, we have a client spotlight that I need to turn on, and we're going to Utah. So let's get this going. Here we go.
Hello from Cedar City, Utah. I just want to take a minute and tell you how great Scribbles has been for our district in bringing us into the 21st century. We have been doing a lot on paper up until the point that we got Scribbles, and it's given us a digital solution that's saved us a ton of time and made our data a lot more accurate. So thank you, Scribbles.
Excellent. Thank you. That was wonderful. All right. That's not what you want. Right. 1 second. There we go.
Kelly, would you like me to put my screen up?
No, sorry. I just had to go back. So from current slide, here we go. A little bit about, there, is that coming through? Scribble Online?
Yes, that's great.
Okay, perfect. So a little bit about Scribble Online. A fun fact for everyone in the room, this was actually the first application created by Scribbles, even before Scribble Order. You might be asked for that later. It is a cloud-based document archive repository. It's specifically used for managing records. Now, a little bit more about Scribble Online. This could be used for documents that have been scanned, like old microfilm, microfiche, things of that nature. It can also store old legacy files from previous student information systems, such as NCYs, old SIMS data. Those might sound familiar to a few of you. We also have school districts that utilize it to store their current data. So for instance, we have some school districts that want to keep all their records in one central location. So every year they will provide us with a data load from PowerSchool or Infinite Campus or other current student information systems. So that way they have the most current student record, specifically like their transcripts, test scores, things of that nature, easily accessible. So records also can be loaded here that are already stored across multiple platforms within your districts, such as some examples are Laserfiche or OnBase. In many schools, you need to have a redundant copy. So historically, that was microfilm is my redundant copy. And now we're talking with school districts so that, yes, we can go ahead and convert your microfilm and get that electronic. But if you wanted to keep, or your district has like a specialty program OnBase or Laserfiche or the other, that can be the redundant copy, and we can convert your records and put them all into Scribble Online. So why do you want to put your records in Scribble Online? Really the biggest benefit for student record staff, and I'm specifically talking right now to the folks that use Scribble Order, or if your district is utilizing Scribble Order, they communicate together, they integrate. So Scribble Order, Scribble Online, it's all created by Scribbles. So if we take all your various forms of data and it's in one central location, when you have a record request that comes in from a former student or perhaps a current student, you have one location to look for. What we hear all the time and what we run into all the time is, based on this year of graduation, I go to this area to find records, or these years will be microfilm. And your current staff, or maybe your former staff, knew all of that information. And as people retire, that information leaves with the staff. And that's always a problem. So we have many cases where the former records manager knew which CDs to go to get to certain records. but no one has any idea how to find those documents or that data once she or he is gone. So the goal is really always to provide your staff with one central location for all your records so that staff doesn't have to hunt around for records to complete Scribble Order requests. So Scribble Online also can be used for multiple districts or multiple departments across the district. We're talking right now about Scribble Order for student records, typically, but we also securely manage records for HR records, EC records, meeting minutes, and so on. Every user has their own secure logon and access. So what that means for you is if I'm in student records and I'm accessing and viewing my records, I will only see what I'm authorized to use and to see, which is student records. However, if I'm an HR user, I can view and see records related just for HR, and we won't see each other's records. We won't even know each other's records exist, and they're completely separate at all times. So there's full security set up based on your user and the department that you're accessing from. Additionally, in addition to storing records electronically within Scribble Online, we also have the ability, if you would like, through capture licensing, which is capture is the ability to scan records yourself into the application. So those are licensed, usually per workstation. And those are best, I always say, for adding single pages or small volumes of records or inserting records into existing documents. I refer to them as the onesie twosies. Your staff will not be happy with you if you give them boxes of records and tell them they can now start scanning boxes of records into any kind of a document management system. So the goal would be if you have small volumes of records you want to add in or attach, we can certainly help you with that. And we do have some departments that do scan, a few boxes of records, but we're not recommending you become a production scanning providers. How's that? All right. So with Scribble Online and Scribble Order specifically, I want to look at this together. I think it's best to start with a little story, right? I mean, in March through May mostly, when all of the schools closed, immediately when everyone went and started working remotely or working from home, all of our schools that we serve that use Scribble Order and have Scribble Online were able to continue working and fulfilling those requests from home. So that meant specifically for your former students, if they needed to send records to colleges or if they needed to get access to their records, there was no gap. There was no lag time. The records, all we do is, if you see right here, there's a button called Search Archive. So this is a button that's turned on. Below that is a button called Request from Storage. So if you have an order that comes in and you're using Scribble Online, you just click the Search Archive button and the order comes up. So it's all cloud-based. There's no IT infrastructure. There's nothing for your staff at the schools to manage. So if I was one day working in the office and now I'm working from home in a borrowed laptop from work, I can just click on the URL that I need to access. I log into Scribble Order. I can see all of my orders that I need to process. And then I can go ahead and click the Search Archive and it will populate and show me those records. So they had no loss in response time. And that was really huge. It's heartbreaking when you talk to so many schools and they can't fulfill requests because they can't access the records, they can't get into the buildings, and those orders just sit out there. And those students, I mean, if we're in the middle of a crisis, so I think we've all been super patient and wonderful with responding. But if you have the ability to access your records electronically, you can respond very quickly. On that note, when a record is electronic, it automatically has this green leaf. So you can see right here, it has the green leaf. It will contain the entire document that's been scanned. So this could be a one-page transcript, or this could be a 30-page cumulative file. That's something that I don't know by looking. If you do believe you know what it contains and you've determined this, you can go ahead and hit the green leaf and attach it to the order. The button right below it allows you to open and preview that record, and then you can just attach to the order the pages that you need to send on. It's presenting you with a thumbnail view of anyone that matches the last name, first name, and if it's compiled, the date of birth. So for some of our school districts, we're scanning EC records as well. If I have access to view them, I could see that information as well. So I might see multiple results for the same student. So if you've separated the test scores, for example, but this request is just for a transcript, you just attach the order and the component that you need, and you can go ahead and do that. Once that's done, you can go ahead and hit the sign and send button, and it will provide you with the list. Now, this is an older screenshot, so it provides the list of the colleges if the green leaf is presented. But additionally, you'll have the applicant, send to applicant option as well. I just want to point out too, before we leave this page, Scribbles was deemed or has been deemed an essential business. So that means we are continuing scanning and picking up records for our school districts during any shutdowns. I mentioned in an earlier session that we scan all the records for the state of South Carolina for the Department of Education. So we are deemed an essential business, and during the crisis, we are out there with our trucks picking up boxes of records. If you need access to your records while we have them, which always happens, just request right here in that search archive button. Right below that is request from storage. You can request them while we have them. Our standard turnaround time is 48 business hours, and we'll convert that record, get it electronic, and attach it for you to fulfill that order. Additionally, I don't have a slide for this, but we also have what we call BPO, but it's an outsourcing model, so that if you have orders that need to be mailed and you don't have the ability to mail them, but you have that record electronically, you can attach that order just like you do today to the top blue area. You can attach that order, and then and maybe I'll have Greg show this, I'm not sure, but you can attach that order and move the requester to us at the Record Center, and we can go ahead and we can print that, we can sign it and seal it and send it off in the mail. So if it needs to be mailed, if it absolutely has to be mailed, and you don't have the ability to do so because you're working remote or your staff is working remote and they don't have that access, we do have that ability to do so as well. And that's done on a case-by-case basis, but we did have a few school districts that we turned that feature on over the last 9 months. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer this over to Greg, and he's going to log in and show you some components.
All right, thanks, Kelly. So yeah, Kelly mentioned this, but most of you attending are using Scribble Order today. We're going to talk about the searchability of Windows records that we convert for you, whether it be paper, microfilm, or digital legacy systems data that we move over into one platform. We can do that with putting that all in our Scribble Online system. So how would that work once that has taken place, once that's done? So if we go into an existing Scribble Order from our demo site, and you have the Scribble Online integration set up, you have records over in that product ready to retrieve, you'll now have a button here that reads Search Archive that Kelly mentioned on one of her slides. So when we click this button, what it's going to do is take the first name and last name from the list and search the archive and bring up any search results. So I believe Kelly had a little slide on this, but we have a thumbnail view, we have the student information from the indexing that we were provided, and we have the green leaf here. And if this is just a transcript request, or possibly if it was a transfer request and it was the complete student folder, you could click this green leaf, and that will automatically add that document into the E-Trans box for submitting to the college or to the other K12 that needed that. However, if it is a CUME folder and all you want is the transcript out, you can simply click on the thumbnail view. It's going to open that up in another viewer, but that one doesn't seem to be happy. Okay, well, it's not going to open for me. I did have it open before. I don't know why that one is not opening.
It's because we're watching.
Yeah, it must be. Okay, well, that would open in another viewer, and then you can go through the pages. You can rotate, zoom. You can print individual pages, and on that individual page printing option, you can print those documents to the order itself, similar to the process that I went over in the Scribble Order E-Trans printing methodology. It'll place the documents down here and allow you to do the sign and send. Now, alternatively, if you don't have an order for a document and you still need to do a document lookup for what's in the archive and you're a Scribble Order user, you can simply click the Reports menu item up here along the top, come down here to Search Archive, and now you have the actual fields that you can type in. So let's say that we didn't know the exact spelling of the first name, but we know it began with a J. We can use a % character as a wildcard to represent all other unknown characters beyond the first letter of the first name. But we do know the last name, so we could type in Doe here. So basically, I'm telling the system, find me all Does that have a first initial of J in the system. So if I click search on that, up comes a Jane Doe and a John Doe. So from here, I get various search results, and then however many there are on the system, these would be scrollable, that you can come down through all of the different records that were available. And the same functionality applies. You can open the documents up for viewing. You can skim through the various pages, print individual pages back into the order to be sent electronically along through the system. So that's the two methods that you can use the Scribble Online product from within Scribble Order, either directly from the order by just clicking the Search Archive button, or under the Reports menu with Search Archive as a manual search.
Can you show, Greg, while you're there, if for the BPO process, if I don't know if we have a user set up, but just how it would work, how they can move the order to us?
Yeah, so let me just pull my original order
and
back.
This does need to be pre-set up. I want to make a note of that. That's something we have to turn on.
Correct, yeah. You can click the Request from Storage button here. It'll come up with a box prompting you for what you need from that individual folder. We do ask for a box number, which you would have a box log of what students were in what box or what documents were in what box. And you would type in here, you know, I need transcript sent. You could type that response or that statement here, put in the box number, 123, send that over, and then that automatically assigns it into our release of information office where we will pull this order. We will find the student information. We'll see the notes here of what you need pulled from the box, and then they will reattach that information directly into the documents available for e-delivery so that you can just click on one to view it, and then you can go ahead and sign and send those on over to the college or institution.
Right, and just to clarify what Greg just showed was if we are converting your records and you need a record, when you click Search Archive, if it's not there and you believe we have it and it just has not been converted yet, and Cheryl's going to talk about this next when we talk about scan to zero, but if you need to request a record from storage, click that button. The other thing, Greg, I was mentioning was I had brought up the BPO model, which is really just an outsourcing model. If you have, you need to set this up in advance with me or your account manager. But really this is, if I'm working from home and I need to have my staff scan, I need to have records mailed out instead of sent electronically. If you at the user level attach this order and change the order or move the order to us, we can be notified and print it and mail it.
Correct. Yeah, you could do move order button, and
it would be set up with a particular user on the Scribble side.
correct. Then we'll take ownership of that order and process it for you, if the BPO process is something that gets set up for your district. Okay, was there anything else, Kelly, for me to show? I think I went through most of the items.
I think we're good. I'm going to go ahead and share this back with we're going to bring Cheryl in to talk about conversion services. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me share my screen again. Great. Cheryl, you're on. Cheryl, we don't hear you. Well, I can start talking about this. So we do have a little video to show. Why don't I go ahead and show this video real quick. This is a video of our service bureau. Just get that started.
Advanced Imaging Systems has been providing strategic document management solutions to our clients since 1972. With approximately 100 full-time employees working across multiple shifts, quality is always our top priority. Employees in our climate-controlled warehouse are responsible for tracking approximately 100,000 boxes, in addition to providing a range of services such as scan-on-demand, post-scan shredding, and on-site logging and boxing of client files. Our prep staff, processing an average of 1,000 pages per hour, removes staples and paper clips, tapes down smaller torn documents, and tags specific index data. Barcode header sheets are inserted to ensure documents are properly separated and searchable. Documents are then moved to our service bureau, where between 5 and 8 million images are captured monthly, utilizing the latest in Kodak Alaris technology. Scan files are cropped and cleaned up for optimal clarity. We also offer microfilm scanning services using our incentive-based compensation and NextScan's cutting-edge scanners. After all files are scanned, each is inspected for quality discrepancies and flagged to be rescanned if needed. Up to 8 different employees touch each file in the production process. This holds each department accountable, ensures optimal image quality, and has earned us an accuracy rating of 99.99%. Finally, the data is checked one last time, exported into the specified format, and either uploaded to a secure SFTP site or moved into the client's content management software solution. For more information or to schedule a tour, please visit aisimc.com.
Great. That was Matt Solomon, if anyone was familiar or wondered who was doing that talking. So back to here. So a little bit about the conversion services. So within Scribbles, we have a full service conversion services component. We provide full service document scanning, microfilm conversion, microfiche conversion, as well as data acquisition, record storage. Those are some of the main components. So when I talked about before about how all those records can be converted and stored within Scribble Online, we do those conversion services in-house.
Kelly, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, we hear you, Cheryl.
Sorry, I'm so sorry about that. So thank you, Kelly and Greg. So today I wanted to share a wide range of conversion services that complement our Scribbles K-12 applications and enable school districts to go paperless. So I wanted to talk about some familiar pain points that prompt districts to seek out paperless solutions and discuss the benefits of our record management services. And the first pain point I wanted to address is some things that Kelly had addressed earlier, is remote access. So when the pandemic hit, as Kelly said last spring, we worked with many districts to help implement the remote working environment and help districts access records through Scribble Online and or Scribble Order. Another pain point, districts, is space. Your files may be taking up too much physical space. So the benefit of our records management services is that you gain full control of all data with secure instant access to one centralized secure repository. Other districts the records are stored in paper format with limited shared access as shared from our friends in Utah. And we've helped them with instant secure shared access to files while regaining valuable office space and promoting efficiency. Some districts are looking to put a disaster recovery plan in place or protection from floods, fire, tornadoes. We've had a lot of things going on in 2020. And the benefit is our records management services have helped eliminate missed files, lost files, while implementing a disaster recovery plan for your data. And the last thing I wanted to address is the security of your files may be limited. Scribbles is SOC 2 compliant and FERPA compliant. SOC 2 compliant means we've been audited by a third-party company and we've met all security requirements for our processes and procedures. And when districts are looking to go paperless, what records management services do we offer? Data hosting, as Kelly and Greg mentioned earlier, document imaging, microfilm, microfiche conversions to digital, data acquisition projects, data conversions, record storage, and to note, records are stored in our secure climate-controlled warehouse, as you just saw on our video, and you have access to our records during storage, as Kelly mentioned earlier, and our standard turnaround time is 48 business hours to get your requested record or records back to you. We also offer a cooperative purchasing alliance. Our cooperative purchasing alliance is a purchasing program established with the purpose of reducing procurement costs and allows you to receive the most competitive pricing. And a lot of districts, when I'm talking with districts, they ask, what departments can use your services? All departments, student records, HR, finance, EC, etc. And as Kelly mentioned earlier, we are deemed as an essential business and we will continue to digitize records throughout the pandemic. So we just saw the video, so I was going to show the video here. So I'm going to talk now. Districts are now more than ever looking to go paperless. We never like to think about disasters, but sometimes, sometimes we don't think about them until they happen. So I wanted to share a story with you. A few years back, we had a district who decided to digitize records, and they had been sitting in a warehouse for over 40 years. They were not in a rush to digitize these records because they'd always been safe in that warehouse. We came in, put together a plan, and we removed 300 plus boxes. 2 weeks later, that building was destroyed by a hurricane. And that's just one of the many, many stories and how we have been able to help put document management plans in place to help secure and protect your confidential records. Scribbles is engaged with over 300 school districts across the U.S. to support paperless initiatives, primarily at a net zero cost. And this is accomplished by generating revenue from student record requests through Scribble Order. With this plan, school districts will apply these funds towards applications and conversion services, resulting in a net zero conversion project. Districts may also apply additional funds at any time to accelerate that plan to go paperless. And Kelly, if you'll go to the, I'm going to show some slides where I can show how the Scan to Zero plan works. First of all, the school district will activate the Scribble Order online record request site. And former students and third parties will go onto that site, request and pay for records generating funds. The district receives the money from those requests, and then we bank them here at Scribbles. The district reinvests those Scribble Order funds to have the records digitized, and then Scribble Order funds will dictate the pace of your scan plan, and then the Scribble Order funds will go back towards the backfile project until all records are scanned. I can put my email in the Q&A today because I would love to talk to everyone about helping your district with a paperless initiative. Have a lot of information to share, a lot of stories to share, so we'd love to help you guys in going paperless. Thank you, Kelly. So I'm going to turn it back over to Kelly now.
Great, we have a lot of questions. I don't know, Miranda, if you want to speak to some of those. And I'm so sorry, Miranda, I didn't introduce you at the beginning. Miranda's on our support team.
You are perfectly fine. So I did have a question about, someone asked, record pickup is available in every state, or do you use local companies? So that kind of depends on when you are, I guess when you decide to do this, you kind of figure that information out with the project manager or the account manager. So it is kind of case by case from my understanding.
So help you with that. Yeah, no, Miranda, I can help with that. So we typically will go and pick up your records. We have Las Vegas, Nevada, we pick up records from them every year. And we do have some other school districts out west. Our record center is housed in Pineville, North Carolina. So we are here. There are a few occasions when we do outsource if there's a requirement to stay local within a school district. But for the most part, we can pick up your records and bring them to our record center for storing and scanning and handling all your conversion needs. What else?
I did answer one. I'm trying to find it. Oh, someone did ask again how to access the information when they do work from home. It is that search archive button that is listed on the application page on the right side in the same area where you can approve and deny the request. It is right there accessible. So if you are working from home, like Kelly said, you can click that button and it'll still bring up all that information. You don't have to have a special cord connection or anything like that.
And I also know sometimes I get school districts that will reach out to me and say, what is my URL? So sometimes we do have to remind you and provide you with that link as well, what your URL is, so that you can log in from home, because a lot of times you'll have shortcut keys at school that you're using. So that's important to note too. But that's all you need. You don't need anything installed or anything locally. Thank you.
We got another question that came in, and it said, can you convert files from outdated systems like AS400 to Scribbles?
Yeah, I can answer that. We converted a lot of different systems over the years. I don't know that there's been a system that we haven't been able to convert necessarily, especially if we have access to the data. I know a lot of older systems out there, like Sims and various other systems. We've converted all that data over to the archive, as well as Laserfiche, OnBase, PaperVision. I'm sure we could work with you on whatever system you have. We have a team that does different conversions that we can get involved.
Great.